The Dyatlov Pass Incident Case, Part 2, The Night of the Strange Scream in the Dead Valley. After the shocking discovery of the barefoot footprints and the tent torn from the inside out, the investigation turned to what happened on the last night of the Dyatlov group's lives. And there is a little known, but real detail that practically no one mentions. The area where the group camped is called Kolet Syakhl by the Mansi indigenous people, which means Mountain of the Dead. The name had no relation to the expedition, it's much older, but the symbolism weighed heavily on the investigation. On the same night of the tragedy, groups of geologists who were more than 40 kilometers from the site reported seeing luminous spheres crossing the sky, in absolute silence. Official reports from the time confirm this. Lights. Silent. Flying over the exact region where the students were camped. Coincidence? Or part of the cause? The fact is that these lights were seen several times in the months leading up to the incident. And something even more disturbing appears in the Soviet archives. 3 independent groups reported strange sounds coming from the mountains that night. It wasn't wind. It wasn't animals. It was something described as a long, metallic scream echoing through the valleys. To this day, it is unknown what it was. Experts reconstructed, step by step, how the group dispersed. First, they fled the tent towards the trees. Then, they tried to make a fire. 2 died beside the makeshift campfire. 3 tried to return to the tent, but didn't even get close. 4 were found months later in a deep ravine. But there is something that still bothers us today. Why didn't they return to the tent immediately as soon as the danger passed? She was unharmed. Her clothes were there. Survival equipment, too. Nothing prevented their return. Nothing visible, at least. Something from the outside, or from inside the tent, terrified them so much that they preferred to face certain death in the absolute cold rather than return to where they were. And then came the most disturbing detail of this phase of the investigation. On the pine tree where 2 of the bodies were found, there were deep marks, long scratches, made with hands. Analysis showed that human nails were embedded in the wood. This means that someone tried to climb desperately, frantically, as if fleeing or trying to see something coming from the direction of the camp. But what? What could make an experienced climber scratch a tree until they tore off their own fingernails? The last entries in the Dyatlov group's diaries show no fear. On the contrary, they show relaxation, inside jokes, playful banter, hope of finishing the route. No sign of paranoia. No recorded arguments. No tension. Everything changes suddenly that night. And if you follow the trail of clues left by the bodies, the snow, and the diaries, one thing becomes clear. They were taken by surprise. Brutally. Immediately. And by something they didn't understand, asterisk. Something that made 9 rational young men, trained and accustomed to danger, turn their backs on their only chance of survival. But what did they see? 3 days after the start of the official investigation, a military investigator, whose name remains censored, found a metallic object partially buried in the snow, about 800 meters from the tent. The object was removed, placed in a box, and taken away by armed men. No photos. No records. Nothing in the official files. But the locals still say to this day. After they took it away, they told everyone to come down the mountain. And they said the case was closed. What was that object? Why was it hidden? And how does it connect to the deaths of the 9? Follow me and comment investigation for part 3.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like below and share it with your friends. I'll be back with you in the next video.